Andy, this fascinates me. For all my life, I've had nightmares about not being where I'm supposed to be. And this morning, I woke up in like a cold sweat. I'm having a conversation downtown, and the person I'm talking to, who I don't know in my dream/nightmare, says, "Hey, it's 1:15. Isn't your show at 1?" And I just have complete panic. And then I'm running through the streets, but I can't get anywhere. There's a camera and a microphone, and the clock is like ticking in my head. And I'm worried about everything in my life falling apart. And I've had some version of that my whole life, and being late for a test, being late for an SAT exam, being late for a football game, a baseball game. You have these?
Absolutely. I think I have 3 types of nightmares. Somebody has broken into the house. I am at college, and I show up for a class that I have missed for the entire semester. Skipped every single class, and I'm there either for a final or it's just toward the end of the semester, and I started just going to class. And the third one is the most common one, and that is the newscast is starting now, and I'm completely unprepared. I haven't seen any of it. I haven't edited. It goes back to sports, though. It always has something to do with video that I have not yet edited. And I haven't done that since I was in sports. So something about being a television sportscaster lends itself to the most long-lasting nightmares that a man can have.
It does. And I have one also where somebody comes up to me and says, aren't you supposed to be on the desk? It's time for sports. And I say, no, it's 5:20. And they say, you didn't move your clock ahead? It's 6:20.
We talked about that digital clock god that rules over the newsroom in this job and in this world. It's very true. Just that conversation was still in your brain when you had that nightmare.
It's 1:02 p.m. Let's roll on a Monday.
Grammy-nominated country artist Tyler Childers presents Snipe Hunt, performing at KC Center July 15th with special guest Wednesday. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for sports and more. And coming up, we have the wild card weekend. History was made. Indiana Football School and Clone Soar Hawks Fall. All that and more presented by Guest House Tavern with nightly specials, including Kentucky Fried Tuesday. But right now, let's get the week started with high or low since our last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
So many people take the month of January to plan out all their financial stuff, take a look at their retirement, where they're sitting, all kinds of stuff like that. What a great time to hire a financial planner, start talking with a financial planner to do that. Tim Hawkins and company can do that for you, along with getting your taxes set, because those are starting to roll in too as well. WealthCharterRetirement.com is where you find them. I'm going low today. This is one of my least favorite weeks of the entire year. The legislative session begins, which doesn't mean too much to the rest of you, but to those of us in news, it means that it's going to be in the news all week. The lawmakers come in. It happens the same way every single year. There are some of them who are clamoring to make headlines for themselves by proposing ridiculous bills that will not and should not come anywhere near being voted into law. We see this at the federal level, but you definitely see it at the state level. And some of them are so outrageous, they make national headlines, right? I mean, we will be talking about some proposal from Oklahoma, or one of these crazy Iowa proposals will make news in New York. I mean, and that's intentional. They're trying to do that. And for the most
College
part,
football can only be played on Saturdays. This should be the law.
Yeah, right. If only they were that innocuous. They're usually something really ridiculous. But it's intentional. They're trying to do this to get headlines for themselves and put themselves in the news, get themselves talked about, debating, and then somehow those things fall apart really, really quickly. But it's scary. Sometimes they make it a couple of rounds, and you're like, oh my God, really? But anyway, this is the week that all that gets started, and then we've got a few months of news out of the state capitol to look forward to. January is a month that, like, it's a combination puncher. I mean, it has a lot of ways to hurt you.
That's true. It is a long month. I probably still take it over February, but I'm not sure. I'm starting.
I don't know, man.
Rethink that a little bit.
You're in sports. Yeah, don't be having nightmares about being in sports. Be glad sometimes.
Hey, if you need to hang out with any of these legislators, or you want to just meet with them one-on-one, you can probably find a few at any time, day or night, over at Carl's place. So just go over to Carl's. You can probably run into somebody there.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You go to Carl's place?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There have been some big names that have come through that place. You can see...
Well, Jack Hatch used to live right across the street.
You can see every kind of person that walks in Iowa or visits Iowa in Carl's. I mean, you talk about a melting pot of bar stools.
I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, it's something else. I'm going high. Colin went back to college. He's the last of our students. He's going back for his final semester. He didn't really drink during his month here because he's training for a half marathon. But he wanted, before he left, he wanted to go to Cooney's and have a pint. I appreciated that. So we did that, and that was fun. And one of the things I love, and we have enough of a sample size with our kids to know some more than others, but like Colin really loves to hang out with us. Like he will, and I was this way with my parents, even when I was in college. But he like some of his friends find that fascinating. Because they can't imagine wanting to hang out with their parents at college or even when he's home, but he loves hanging out with us. He loves hanging out with us when we visit, and that's a blessing. I mean, we don't take that for granted, and it's really cool. I mean, I used to bring friends home from college all the time. I'd invite somebody to come back and go hang out with my family, and they often would think that was hey, you want your parents to come with us? And be like, yeah, it'll be fun. And then they would win them over, and they would see why. But I'm thankful for that month with Colin, because Andy, when they get to this age and he's got one semester left, graduates in May,
about ready to launch.
Data shows that you've spent like 95% of the time you will spend with your kids. You've already spent it. Like you got like 5% left, and wow.
And they look at it the other way.
Yes, sometimes they do. Yeah, sometimes they do. All right, let's catch the buzz.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Providing heating and cooling solutions to Des Moines area families for more than a century, and by that I mean 120 years. My goodness. We'll start with a wild card weekend. This was mostly great. So for the first time in NFL history, according to OptaStats, 4 games were decided by 4 or fewer points in a single round. And it was the first 4. Before that Sunday night football game, before the Chargers and Patriots, we had already had 4 games decided by 4 or fewer points and 3 road teams that won. Let's start with Bears-Packers so we can get AD involved in all of his happiness. 21-3 at the half. You've got a cheese shredder. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cheese grater.
Woo.
Is that a shredder or a grater?
That's a grater.
It'll do
Great.
both.
Okay.
It'll do whatever you need.
All right. 21-3. I know this Bears team. I know about all the comebacks. That seemed like too much for them to come back from that. And they did it again, thanks in no small part to this guy, Caleb Williams. AD, he made one pass that's about as difficult as you can make, going to his left. I think now it's known as the jump man pass because he gets into the Jordan logo as he throws it. That was an incredible pass.
It really was. And on fourth down, you absolutely needed it. It still had a lot of work to do after that, and they were able to do it. But for the first time in my life, I have a quarterback on the Bears that I believe in. I have an offense that I think can actually get the job done. And now through 7 fourth-quarter comebacks this season, I kind of believe no matter what's happening. I mean, at halftime, I was pretty down, but it was like, hey, you never know. Something. Even when they're kicking field goals in the third quarter, I'm kind of like, maybe something can happen. And then the ball starts rolling downhill. The Packers kicker gets the yips, and here we are.
It takes several things to go right and several things to go wrong to have a fourth-quarter comeback like that. And Packer fans are just gutted.
Yeah, they are, and that it's understandable. I mean, they had a seemingly insurmountable lead in that game. They absolutely had the previous game with the Bears completely wrapped up, and then they just kept finding ways to give it back to them. So it hurts. This is not a Packer team that Packer fans put a lot of stock into. I mean, their best player is out. This team, Jordan Love is a great quarterback, and they're going to be able to retool around him and give him some more weapons next year. But yeah, I mean, you have to know what the relationship is like between the city of Chicago or Chicagoans and Wisconsinites, and it's crazy to hear things like, the Bears celebrating so hard, finally getting to beat the Packers and having this just immense joy by getting by this milestone, because people from Chicago have a completely outsized influence on the state of Wisconsin. I mean, they own so much property up there. They have such an effect on things, and it's good for the state of Wisconsin that Chicago people are like that, because they support that economy up there. I mean, without Chicago, Wisconsin could become Idaho or something. But Wisconsin people just, oh my God, they just resent Chicago so much. I mean, it's the term fib is something that everybody uses across Wisconsin. That's effing Illinois bastards is what that stands for. And fibs, oh yeah, look at these fibs around here. And it's like before they look at everybody's license plate and they see an Illinois plate, and they're not from another part of Illinois. They're from Chicago, right? It's all Chicago. And Chicago is a great city. I mean, it's a really great city. It's the best thing about that whole state. It's one of the great cities of the world. But man, they go up there and they got their jet skis and they run those things all around, and their snowmobiles, even though Wisconsin people do the exact same thing. But, it's the Chicago. They drive the prices up and the taxes up. Oh, they're so pissed at them all the time. And my dad, who wasn't even a native Wisconsinite, I mean, he developed that so quick once they moved up there. He was there for like a month. And then he was saying fibs all the time. And it's like, man, Dad, that didn't take long.
So it's not just sports hate.
His license plate wasn't even switched over yet. Oh, yeah. So, I mean, there's a real bitterness there. And it's fun because, I mean, they just feel like they're under the thumb of Chicago. And Chicago has so much influence, drives them like the gift shops. They'll have all their Packer stuff, but then they'll have some Bears stuff in there too. They'll be like, you'll hear somebody go in there and be like, this is the state of Wisconsin. Why are you selling Chicago Bears stuff? They're like, well, because there's a lot of Chicago people up here that want to buy some. Get that out of here. They get all mad about it. They sing "The Bears Still Suck" in the middle of like a really nice restaurant. That song will break out. So I mean, that you have to kind of understand that. So that, and then that of course goes both ways. The Chicago people up there, they feel that, and they just really wanted this badly. So that's a little of the insight there. But man, yeah, it really is a smarting among them right now. I have family and friends that are probably calling in sick today.
AD 15-second rebuttal.
Wisconsin sucks.
You see?
Do you know when, before this weekend, the most recent time the Bears had beaten the Packers in the playoffs was?
Boy.
The week after Pearl Harbor.
No way.
Yeah.
Jeez. There were like
They played
six
football
teams.
the week after Pearl Harbor?
How many teams were in the NFL then?
Also, Andy, you'll appreciate this stat. This is the first time in history the Bears and Cubs both advanced in the same postseason.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Which is incredible, right? I mean,
It
that's such a
really
sports
is.
town.
All right, moving to some other games here. Rams 34, Panthers 31. Matt Stafford, potential MVP, one of two that could win it. Drake May, the other. They won, and they go to Chicago, right? That's what's next.
Yes. Yep.
And I think they'll be favored.
Yes.
I haven't seen
they
the
are
line.
now. Yes.
They are favored. Okay, so that another close game there. Panthers, hard to find too interesting, but it was a good game. It was fun to watch. Bills 27, Jags 24. This is a road win for the Bills, and all kinds of things happened in this game. But in the end, the Bills had Josh Allen, and the Jaguars had Trevor Lawrence. He's getting kind of a wrap on that interception to end it. That was tipped. It wasn't a bad pass.
No, it wasn't. No, but I mean, they were just forced into that position. My lasting impression of this game will be that how long did that tush push go for? 12 yards?
30,
Gosh.
about 30
Jeez.
seconds. Yeah.
That was just man. It should be unfair with him. I mean, he's so big and he's such a good athlete. Crazy.
Forget the 1 foot. They got like 11 yards.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it works. You just do it until it gets banned.
So the Bills move on. Then the 49ers go into Philadelphia with quarterback Brock Purdy and missing several key weapons, especially after George Kittle goes out with, unfortunately, a torn Achilles. And the 49ers still win. This is a really impressive win. So we'll have a new Super Bowl champion. The Eagles will not repeat. They're out. But that's another road win there. And Kittle adds to his legend by having a bottle of Patron sent down and reportedly drinking the entire bottle of tequila. Which doesn't seem
I think that's
possible.
really understandable. I mean, first of all, what is he the greatest character in the NFL right now? If he's not, I don't know who is. But I mean, he knows he's done, right? He knows he's done.
Yeah.
There's no chance. Right?
He's in pain.
He's not having surgery tonight. Go ahead.
You're not driving home.
So he orders the tequila
No.
probably just to have a shot, right? Take the edge off. And
I
then
think
his
the
team
owner
is,
sent it down.
yeah, and then his team is playing well. So, I mean, you gotta keep doing it. You gotta keep celebrating.
Yeah.
One after another. And then he gets what, 3/4 of the way through the bottle. And he's like, well, may as well finish it now. I think you can completely explain that.
Purdy was good again,
Yes.
so good. And so was Christian McCaffrey. So the 49ers move on. They'll go back to Seattle, where they did not look good 10 days ago. We'll see how that plays, or 12 days ago. Then we get the night game. By the way, at this point, I'm 4-0 on the picks we made Friday, so I'm absolutely confident that the Chargers are going to lose, because all of these games could go either way. And sure enough, the Chargers do lose. I didn't believe in the Patriots just because of they had like the softest schedule in the history of football. But Justin Herbert just can't win a playoff game. He still hasn't won a playoff game. This was not a 4-point game. Patriots 16, Chargers 3. Of the 5 played, this was the dullest game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the other ones had fourth quarter lead changes out the yin yang, and, it was really, really fun. And this was just kind of a bore. But, yeah, I mean, parody NFL. Jeez, rock on, man. It's the Eagles are out. I don't know that anybody's ready to see the Patriots again. The 49ers are probably not a team that has been gone long enough for everybody to, hook up a Cinderella bandwagon to them. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I don't know what to expect.
I don't either. I don't know what to expect tonight in Pittsburgh either. The Texans, I think, are slight road favorites, so you can have another road winner. But the Steelers brought in Aaron Rodgers for a moment like this, and the Steelers have some kind of crazy Monday Night Football record. Like they haven't lost on Monday Night Football in 30 or 40 years or something. That won't impact the outcome of tonight's game, you wouldn't think, but it is an interesting stat. And the Texans are kind of sneaky good, but like the Jaguars, most of us just don't find them that interesting. I know some Cyclone fans do. I do know that because they have all those former Cyclone receivers. Do those Cyclone receivers stay loyal to Iowa State, though, right? They don't move to Penn State.
I don't think, yeah.
I mean, do we have to worry about Brock Purdy showing up at a Penn State game?
Yeah, I think so.
There to support his
Absolutely.
coach?
Yeah,
it's possible. Yeah.
But I think that's okay. Cyclone fans will probably disagree with that.
I'm sure they'll take
know.
it in stride.
He'll be. I think he'll be
to
loyal
see
to
Matt
both.
Campbell. That's where he's got to go.
I think you'll see him supporting both. I mean, he has been really good to Iowa State. I don't think that will change. Want to give props to somebody who was so easy to pick on because of how rich, successful, and handsome he is, but Tom Brady's improvement as an analyst is drastic. And it's drastic for the reasons we speculated before this season began, because you know that his approach to everything is to study and grind and get better. And it's not an accident. It wasn't an accident as a quarterback. It's not an accident as an analyst. He's not just showing up in the booth. He wants to be good. And he has improved so much. Like this little bit on camera yesterday about the 49ers game was so insightful. He was talking about how if you throw the ball with the nose up like this in windy conditions, it will float away on you and end up being a pick or a really bad pass. You have to go nose more down when it's really windy to get it to cut it through the wind. And
even like changing his hand position on the ball. Yep. It was really interesting.
From a U to a backward C, because you have to have it, you have to have the spiral tighter and the trajectory changes. That kind of stuff is great. Meantime, on the other hand, Tony Romo, who wowed us all when he first started with his ability to predict a play, like he's just turned, like something has almost gotten to his head. He just makes a bunch of sounds, and a couple of times he got lost in his own thoughts where he was making no sense.
Yeah, he's fallen out of favor. It does seem like that pony's one trick got old quick, which it shouldn't. I mean that right? I mean he should
predicting
still
plays.
Be able to do that. Yeah, I mean that. I don't think they developed a system in the NFL to hide the plays from Tony Romo.
No, he still
should
does
still be
that
interesting
occasionally and does it well. But
I agree, though. I thought Tom Brady did a really good job and is getting better, and that's something that you can get better at. I don't know that that's necessarily a talent, an intangible. You just kind of have to be. You have to have somebody with good constructive criticism around you that you're going to listen to. Somebody that points out and says, "Hey, Tom, these were the really interesting parts of what you had to say last night, or these were among them," and point those out and say, keep going back to that well and looking for stuff like that.
And by not being a guy that was able to transfer when he was not the number one quarterback at Michigan for a couple of years, and he talked about that, different time, different era. He'd probably do something differently this time, but he talked about how much harder that made him work. And then he plays for Bill Belichick all those years, where Belichick, by all accounts, would ride Brady harder than anyone in practice just to show everybody else there's no favoritism. This is a guy that wants constructive criticism because, Andy, you name whatever business it is, in our case it's broadcasting, there are two types of people. There's the person that asks you for feedback, but what they really want is for you to tell them how good they are, and the person who genuinely wants to get better and they're asking for feedback so that they can start that.
Yeah, and there's also the problem that when you do go to give somebody constructive criticism, you start and then you can just see that they kind of check out right away, and they're really not listening, and so it's wasting your time as well.
Right.
So then you don't want to give him any more constructive criticism, and it's not really anything personal. You understand? I mean, it's kind of boring. It takes a special person to honestly open themselves up to that, and then use that criticism productively, and say, okay, I'm gonna, because they got to find somebody they respect, and then they've got to actually do it. And then I think the problem was, I really thought that going in, Tom Brady is kind of a guy that super private, has some skeletons in his closet that even like when it went on his roasts and stuff, and he just seemed really uncomfortable. And there's certain areas that they couldn't go. Didn't want him talking about Robert Kraft and that. And I was just like, man, this guy is going to be. You got to be kind of an open book with that sort of stuff, because even if you're not talking about your love life or your family or something like that, you still have to kind of be the type of person that can sort of open up their thought process to the public and let everybody know, and make yourself kind of vulnerable, because you might get boring and people give you negative feedback, and then that hurts your ego, and then it's it's harder on you. So I mean, he had to be kind of a different person than I thought he was going to be to come this far. But I'm pleasantly surprised that he's proven me and probably other people wrong.
Yeah, he's gotten good. Let's get a quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
Of these two, who would you rather hear as a game analyst, Tom Brady or Tony Romo?
It's Brady for me, but there's a likable quality about Romo, but he's got to rein in some of the he's got to get control over some of that. Let's stay with broadcasting here for just a moment. Jacksonville reporter Lynn Jones consoles Jaguars coach Liam Cohen, and it kind of sets off a firestorm.
How you doing today? Lynn Jones, Jacksonville Free Press News. I just want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank you.
You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah. So Lynn Jones is she's been a Jacksonville journalist for more than 30 years. So she is in that community, and the people in that community know Lynn Jones. I think, as we often try to do,
Out of context a little,
yeah, and there's some room for nuance here that's been missing from the usual social media reaction to me. Like I would say, this is not the forum to do that, but I'm not outraged by it. It took 20 seconds. It completely changed the coach's demeanor. It becomes the most memorable part of the press conference. And I do know the old school journalists are highly offended by this, and I understand why, but everything evolves in life, including how journalism is reported. I mean, we now have Stephen A. Smith, openly rooting and mocking teams he doesn't like and loving teams he likes. The guy, the Jets fan, the vanilla guy on ESPN.
Greeny, Mike Greenberg.
Greeny,
Mike Greenwood.
Mike Green,
Always talking about the Jets and rooting for the Jets. Pat McAfee, you know who he likes and who he doesn't like. The media is involving, including the people at the press conference. And yeah, I mean, this made me a little bit uncomfortable, but then I also thought, like, the sincerity comes through. He clearly liked it. You can see it on his face. I guess this is a long-winded way of saying, Andy, I wouldn't have done it, but I'm not offended by it. The 20 seconds I don't find it outrageous.
Yeah, and we know that may just be the way that she always is, and she's been doing that for a long time, and people know that about her, and she has that space in her little corner of the sports media world, and sometimes look, I mean, there are colorful characters in the history of sports writing, really colorful characters, right? I mean, and I can remember in St. Louis and being just an intern in the press boxes there were these legendary sports writers who, I mean, they did things differently than anybody else. They would sit there with a big cigar and a beer, and drink during the game and stuff. And you just, other people wouldn't do that, and they weren't, probably even allowed to do that. But I mean, these guys were different, and that's okay. I mean, that just added to the overall atmosphere of the whole thing. And the bottom line is they did their job well. I mean, that really should be what we care about. I mean, is she a good writer? Does she cover the stuff well? Does she do a good job?
I don't know.
Well, if she is, then enough said. If she's there, handing out tuna casseroles to every coach after he loses a game, that's a little different. But I don't know. I mean, I think this is she goes on a little long. I was almost expecting her to bring him some brownies or something, but yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of nice to have. There are other writers that sports media people in press conferences that are far more annoying than somebody like that.
And she was being kind, and we could use more kindness right now.
She's not being condescending. I mean, she's clearly much older than this person. I kind of like it when older people do that.
And there's also just one more thing in play here I'll mention briefly. It's just there is a hypocrisy with some of the old guard, because we all know people who are actually more of a fan of the team they're covering than they let on. And I always say, I mean, one of the reasons Chris Hassel is so outwardly a Hawkeye fan is because when I talked to him early in his career when he's impressionable, I was like, Chris, have full disclosure. I mean, tell people what's in your heart. Don't try to pretend. Now, they have every right to expect you to go out there when you cover a game and to be fair and to be objective with your coverage. But if you are a Hawkeye fan, always have been, and it's not changing, don't hide that. Don't lie about it. So there are people who are clearly fans who pretend that they're above all this kind of sort of thing, but it creeps into their work too, that they're not objective. And I think all you can hope for is full disclosure, because you're not going to get complete objectivity, because we're human. I mean, it happens. It happened to me around Johnny Orr, because I just thought I just got such a kick out of him. He was so terrific.
You see sports media try to ingratiate themselves with the coaches, and you can see that, and you're like, oh my God, you can't do that. What are you doing? We've been to press conferences. You and I both have been to press conferences where we've heard, the opposing media talk to their coach and say, we, our, us, and you're just like, but dude, you're doing a job. This is not you're not on the team. But they act that way, and like the whole market acts that way. I think that's the Nebraska market. They used to be like that. The problem is, I mean, there are a lot of problems with that, but the problem is, and I think why the Nebraska market was like that for so long, is they were always winning. And then there's nothing but positive things to say. But then all of a sudden when they lose, it's not we anymore. It's you. They want to
Why are you losing?
They want a buffer zone all of a sudden, and you can't have that. And that's the problem. I think Hassel has kind of learned that, is that, I mean, he may have grown up, a full-throated Hawkeye fan, and, everything they did was great. But then, he does it for a living, and then he ends up, not getting treated all that well by other Hawkeye fans or Hawkeye coaches, or having bad experiences, or at least, seeing, kind of the underbelly of what's going on there. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait a minute. This is a reason why people are objective, because not only do they need to report both sides, but they've seen both sides, right? I mean, they know that sometimes these guys that you just worshiped have dark sides to them.
We'll leave it there. College ball playoff. Indiana absolutely humiliated Oregon. All Big Ten matchup. 35-7 at the half. Indiana wins by 34. Somehow, it wasn't that close. Indiana has 0 5-star players and 8 4-star players. Oregon has 55 4- and 5-star players. But Indiana has, I think, 45 players with 4 or more years experience. And Andy, it was your What's Bugging Andy last night on Sound Off. Indiana has a late blooming great coach.
And that was a clinic. I mean, from the very beginning of that game, Indiana, that was Kirk Cignetti coached circles around Dan Lanning, who's a great coach. Walked right out, punched him in the mouth with that pick six. Thought maybe we were going to get a good response and have a really good game. That good response didn't last very long, and it was over. And then Indiana just was able to pour that on, and it was a second half that was really kind of boring, but at the same time, I mean, it was how much of the country just was watching that in the second half and thinking, I can't believe this has happened in college football. The one place it seemed parity proof, right? I mean, like you can lock down a program in college football, keep the money rolling in, keep the recruits rolling in, and then just ride it out on autopilot, it seemed like for forever. And there would never be a space for a team like Indiana. Or if everything goes wrong and a guy pops up at Indiana, that's a great coach, well, you can rest assured that Ohio State or Penn State or Michigan or somebody would swoop in and hire him right away, and then he's gone and Indiana's back where they belong, at the back of the Big Ten bus. But that's not happening.
Nope, that's not happening. Not at $12 million a year, and now Mark Cuban, Indiana alum, he's thrilled with all this. So now they're going to have even more money. He just wrote a bigger check than he wrote last year. Indiana just got TCU's quarterback. Can't remember his name right now, but he's been good. They're not slowing down, man. It's a wild story.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no excuse though. Nobody can say, well, they got Mark Cuban. Well, the other schools have guys that are billionaires also, or they got a whole line of them. Phil
Knight's been trying to buy a championship for 25, 30 years.
Yeah,
and can't get it done.
Every big power has a bunch of those guys. So I mean, this is just flat out. There's no excuse that somebody can use to slide Indiana. I mean, they did this straight up and down. This is Kirk Cignetti. Francisco Mendoza he's going to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. And he looked like an NFL quarterback in that game. He was phenomenal. He was so accurate, such perfect touch in those, and was unflappable. I mean, he looked great. He is improved. How quickly is that guy improved? I mean, this year he's had just a rocket ship straight up. So,
and he's so, I think, likable. I know some people say he seems like he's an AI quarterback, but he's 86 games with 85% or better completion percentage.
Which is exactly what the NFL is looking for. He's got the NFL body.
Oh my goodness!
This is a guy that anybody could have had. Kirk Cignetti, though, is the one that got him, and I mean, I probably molded him into who he is now. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. I mean, those Indiana fans that were in I mean, how many of those Indiana fans are like, what the hell is going on here?
I know. And just 2 years ago, he has that press conference, with the famous Google me, and you're kind of like, I like this guy, but bless his heart, he's in Indiana. He
did that at IUP, Elon, and James Madison after he turned 50. So I mean,
it's just incredible. Walks into a basketball game, talks about Michigan sucks, Ohio State sucks, and then went out there and backed it up. Just a couple of stats for some more perspective on this. One is, before Kirk Cignetti, Indiana had never won 10 football games in a season, which sounds familiar to Iowa State fans before last year. Had never won 10 games in a season. They've won 15 this year. 15. Also, it occurred to me that Indiana this year has won the Big Ten championship, the Rose Bowl, and the Peach Bowl.
Yeah,
But it
right.
doesn't
He
even-
just keeps winning all these.
And they're about to win the national championship, or they could. I think they will. The Indiana versus Miami game in Miami, a mile from where Mendoza grew up, the prices are going to be insane. We talked about Friday. Indiana not only gets the entire $20 million for making the championship. Or I'm sorry, Miami gets the entire $20 million for the championship because in the ACC they don't share that. So they get $20 million. They also get to keep the $3 million travel expenses because they don't have to travel. But look at these prices. The secondary market prices. Well, you'd have to really want to go.
It's just kind of perfect, though, too, because Indiana has cleared every bar set up in front of them. And this is like one more. It's like, okay, well, let's see if you can win the national championship game in the home stadium of your opponent.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know how you
do.
could watch that game and think that, or watch any of the games that Indiana's played, basically.
Yeah. They're
and think that
blowing
anything
teams
else will
out.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is it time? Somebody out there is good with AI or Photoshop. There's a Hawkeye fan out there, or maybe it's a Cyclone fan. Is it time for Iowa to hang a banner in the football complex that says almost beat Indiana?
Yeah, we
Should have beat Indiana.
Jeez. It's that looks better and better. Confluence, the official beer of Murph and Andy. Jenny and I stopped in there again, and I think it was for the draft beer, but it might have been for the pretzels. Man, I housed an entire, I kept putting the lid back on. Do you remember what those pretzels are they sell there? What, like the name of them or what the brand is?
the twists.
Yeah, but they have like 6 different flavors, like Parmesan, tangy mustard.
Yeah, are they like those bots or aughts or?
They taste like dots, but with different
Dots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got to the point where I kept putting the cap back on to try to discourage myself from eating more. And at some point, Jenny's like, you've taken that lid off like 3 times.
Yeah, and then you
You're gonna
start
eat the
futzing
entire
with the
thing."
cap, and
I did eat the
now that I
entire
got
thing.
it off, I'll take one more.
Iowa State men's basketball, 16-0, best start in school history. Just methodically beat Oklahoma State. Never in doubt. Cyclones weren't at their best, but they don't have to be. They've got enough things going. They can beat a good Oklahoma State team just methodically. Cyclones are now ranked number 2. That came out today, which equals the highest ranking in school history. And that goes all the way back to last season.
Yeah, I mean they look like they're ready for stiffer competition, but at the same time, I think everybody is wondering if maybe this great team would just let its guard down and drop one of these games that they shouldn't drop, and that could still happen. But yeah, I mean they look like a machine right now. They look fantastic.
Here is post-game reaction courtesy of WHO 13's David Warrington.
He's in a great rhythm. His shot difficulty today was those are all really hard shots. They did a great job of kind of staying home. And he and I have been talking about continuing to find solutions together when teams have a certain plan, whether it's screening, transition, all those sort of things. But
just working on it in practice for real. You got to work on it in practice so it can translate to the game. So I think just doing a couple of those in practice here and there, I think it gives me confidence to do in the game.
It's a ton of fun. I have a ton of confidence that he's going to make majority of the shots that he takes, so it's just on me to get it to him in the right spot. Don't put it in a spot where he can't shoot it right away. So happy to see him have a good game tonight.
Momcilovic is making 55% of his threes. Man. Go to Kansas.
He's fantastic.
Night.
Yeah.
Late game tomorrow night in Kansas. 8:05 tip.
Kansas unranked?
Yeah.
Unranked. Still, NBA talent on that team. Still Bill Self. Still the best place I've ever been to watch a college basketball game. Fog Allen Fieldhouse. I don't think you can just assume a win there. Iowa State certainly can and will be favored to win, but that I can't just sit back and go, they got it.
Yeah, they should win by double digits.
What's that?
I said they should win by double digits.
Says the Hawkeye fan. Yeah. Put that pressure on there. I mean, yeah, but they You're ready to see some stiff competition. But again, man, don't doubt the wins if they keep coming in. Just let them.
Iowa State women briefly.
Jeez.
They're in a tailspin here. They've lost 3 straight. Iowa State confirmed today. Addie Brown, all Big 12 caliber player, is going to be out indefinitely. Ariana Jackson is already out with a knee injury. Not sure when she'll be back. Teams are figuring out how to limit Audie Crooks' shots. She only took 9 shots and made 8 of them in the loss yesterday. So Iowa State did stay ranked. I was a little surprised after 3 straight losses, but they dropped from 11 to 19, and the Iowa women jump into that 11 spot after that comeback win yesterday. The Iowa men had the crowd it wanted for the Illinois game, but AD, what's going on with your Hawkeyes? They came out flat, like they weren't ready to go.
Yeah, they have a few times now, and we knew the Big Ten schedule would be an interesting change for Bennett Sturts and this roster of former Drake Bulldogs, and really for Ben McCullum also. But it's been a little steeper of a learning curve, I think, than people expected. And Bennett Sturts, I mean, I know they had the flu, and that's kind of been going through the team, so it's hard to say how much impact that's had, but he has not been himself the last couple of games. And this Iowa team really needs him to be great, and he just hasn't been.
Yeah, agree with that completely. He is not playing like an All-American right now.
Yeah, missed another seemingly easy shot when this game is really close coming down to the end. But, I mean, mostly this just comes down to a really bad start that they had against a good team. Really bad start. Took all the wind out of the crowd. Crowd kind of kept wanting to almost getting over the hump where they're going to stand and just blow the roof off the arena. Just never quite got to that point. And Illinois is big, and they're good. I mean, this is a good team.
It was a size mismatch. It was one of those, and I know Ben McCullum already knows this, but he's got to get bigger players. He's got to get more Big Ten sized players. And this game kind of pointed that out. But, Andy, to your point, I felt the same thing. Even the announcer, and I love listening to this guy, Jason Benetti.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying in the game, he's like, you could just feel the crowd they want to get over the hump so that they can just explode. And the time it was about to happen was that missed dunk. Yeah, that alley-oop. And that was on a good Hawkeye run and missed that dunk. And it was just like, oh, they're right there.
Yeah, I mean, for the umpteenth time, I mean, these are the Iowa Hawk Dogs, right? This is Drake's team from last year, and they're really, really good. But this is not a team that Ben McCullum has put together by committee to play in the Big Ten. I mean, he's doing what he can with these players. And Bennett Sturts is a great player. The rest of these guys are really good players, certainly great role players. And they're going to win some games. I don't think they're out of the NCAA tournament at this point. But right now, I mean, I think they're taking their lumps and getting some lessons about how tough this conference is.
Yeah, they needed that win at Minnesota because now they're
totally
upside
different
down.
week if they get that.
2-3, going to Purdue next. So in all likelihood, going to be 2-4. So yeah, no quad one wins yet. Here's post game from WHO 13's David Warrington.
We lost and we got, we dug a hole. So maybe Minnesota was like, hey, you just didn't totally come ready. Awesome way to show it that you can come back, but not today. You got to come ready. Not today. You had to come ready. So I didn't feel great about today. Still love the team. Love the fact that fans are coming out and there is a buzz and there is an energy, and we're going to keep that buzz and energy, and we're going to keep fighting.
I don't know why we're getting down so much. We got to change something because something's not working, and it's been a couple games where we haven't started out with a lot of energy. So it's definitely going to need to change, and we're going to need to do it for full 40.
We just got to pull out games like that at home. I know we want it. We want it for the fans, for us, for the team. And it's going to be a tough road ahead, but we're ready for it.
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing there for me is just energy and effort. It just doesn't seem like these players would ever lack that. And I never thought I'd hear Ben McCullum talking about, we just We got to be more ready to go. We got to have more effort. It doesn't fit anything I expected, but who knows? Like AD said, maybe the flu running through the team is more of a factor than we think.
I mean, I'm still finding this really refreshing. I mean, at this point in Fran McCaffrey's tenure, he was shoving players and slamming chairs and screaming up and down the sidelines like a maniac, and fans were fighting about whether or not that was appropriate or not. And, well, it's just so refreshing because Todd Licklider was such a dud. Now, this is Ben McCullum acting like a reasonable human being, acknowledging the fact that this is a steep learning curve for him and the players, but at the same time, he's not satisfied. This is what you want. I mean, give the guy a chance to put his brain to work here. That's what he's got to do right now. He doesn't have all of the tools that he really needs to compete at this level, but let's kind of see what he can do anyway. I mean, I still think it's going well, and I still think he's got plenty of opportunities to really impress at this point, and he's just still likable.
Murph, are you confident that Iowa's an NCAA tournament team? I saw the sound-off poll yesterday. I know Andy said he is. I certainly am.
I am. I think they will. Confident might be a little much because you start to look at the schedule and you see the lack of quad one wins, and that's why I really thought they needed that win at Minnesota just to get a road win. So my confidence is waning, but I still think they're going to make it. I think that much of Ben McCullum's coaching and that much of the effort that I expect these guys to give, but I'm contradicting myself a little bit because effort, it's what's been missing at the beginning of some of these games. They got to be more ready to go, but I do think they'll make it. I mean, it's 68 teams. It's not like trying to get into the college football playoff. I think they'll be one of the best 68
and the Big Ten goes deep,
in the country.
Right? I mean, there are some real marginal Big Ten teams in the tournament every year.
And they did drop out of the top 25, but they're like the third team out. Drake blew a 25-point second-half lead versus Belmont. Enough said about that. Back with more and throwdowns on a Murph and Andy Monday.
With 5 Central Iowa locations, there's always a Heartland Tire and Auto nearby to take care of everything your car needs. From oil changes to complete transmission overhauls, they do it all. For 15 years now, Heartland Tire and Auto has been a proud sponsor of Murph and Andy.
What's up? I'm Jake Brend with Bigger Than 12, joined by my co-host Derek Duke, where every Sunday we break down the Big 12 Conference.
We'll recap the full day in the Big 12 and look ahead to next week.
We talk a lot of Iowa State, but it's not just Cyclones. We go from Morgantown to Salt Lake City and everywhere in between. Be sure to check out Bigger Than 12 every Sunday here on Iowa Everywhere.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Find them at 6222 Grand Avenue, Either Or, with a big patio outside and really a big space inside for everything you need. Everything you want to do, make this week the week you try it out. Again, the legislative session gavels in today. The governor gives her State of the State address tomorrow. The Chief Justice, the State of the Judiciary on Wednesday. The head of the Iowa National Guard steps up on Thursday. So big, busy day of speeches. Big, busy week of speeches.
Oh, there's nothing I like more than a political speech.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. Can't wait. Rest in peace, Bob Weir. Everybody's second favorite member of the Grateful Dead. A cancer survivor, an activist, one of the most popular men in the world of music. This guy, everybody wanted to play with Bob Weir, and he got everybody to play with him, too. After Jerry Garcia died in 1995, he eventually picked up and carried on. He and the rest of the Dead, or most of the rest of the Dead, put together the Dead and Company. Wildly successful tours that they put together. Huge, long stays at the Sphere in Las Vegas. That
Sphere's incredible. Look at that.
My cousins Mark and Cully, I mean, good God. Those guys would go and they would stay for a week, and they would go to 6 shows in a row. People would do that repeatedly. For these guys, John Mayer joined the group. I mean, I was playing, when Jimmy Cliff died, but he would go and play with Bob Weir and those guys. So just a laundry list of great musicians that would want to play with Bob Weir because he was such a nice guy. A massive guitar collection, a huge collector, just loved the whole culture of guitar, and big home studio that people would come and join him and play. By all accounts, a really wonderful guy. Died at age 78, but packed a lot into those 78 years, no doubt about that.
Andy also had one of my favorite Twitter responses of all time. Big Dead fan group said, show us in a tweet how much of a Grateful Dead fan you are. And Weir's response was simply, I've been to every show.
They asked him that question?
No,
Or
it
he
was
just
to
saw the
all
tweet?
Grateful
Yeah,
Dead
been to
fans.
every
They just
show.
saw the tweet, and he's like, I've been to every show.
Yeah, great dude. This day in 1943, FDR becomes the first president to use an airplane for official business. He used it to meet Winston Churchill in Casablanca in North Africa for a planning meeting in World War II. More interesting than that, though, FDR in this picture, as he's on this first flight, he is 60 years old. He's
Really?
a couple years younger than you, Murph. He is
Not quite.
he's
Yeah,
very
thanks.
very frail. He's gone been through a lot, and in just over 2 years, FDR would be dead. So this is
Thanks.
really toward the end of his life. Yeah, he's around your age, younger than you are. You're doing great, Murph. That's what I'm getting. That's the point. You look great. Murph's video is frozen again, Andrew. Here's something really good that I didn't realize. After the Rockefeller Center tree came down this past week, and they do this every year, I didn't know, its second life began. The tree is cut down, and its lumber is milled in New Jersey into 2x4 and 2x6 beams, all branded with the Rockefeller Center stamp. It's then donated to Habitat for Humanity, and those beams soon become part of Habitat family homes built everywhere from New York to Mississippi. Isn't that cool?
Did not know that. Also, boy, you get a better idea of the scale, the enormity of that tree when you see it being put on that truck bed. Whew.
Yeah, that's like a
tree is big,
looks
man.
like
That's a huge tree.
Like they need a train to come in there and take that thing out of there. But that's a lot of wood, and it's good to put to good use. I think that's pretty cool. Animal Control in North St. Louis is warning people to be on the lookout for 4 vervet monkeys spotted near O'Fallon Park. Here's one of them, probably up to no good. I can
Any
only
chance
imagine.
this is a stunt for that movie that's out, Primate, where the monkey gets loose and starts wreaking havoc?
I would hope that people wouldn't dip that low. That's
Me too.
The monkeys did not escape from the St. Louis Zoo. Very well-known zoo. Did stand right up and be like, all our vervets are accounted for. Must have been in somebody's house, which can you imagine having 4 monkeys in your house?
Kids were hard enough.
Oh my God, yeah. How about kids that can climb the walls? Like
we had
literally
those.
like open the doors, pick all the locks, throw turds all around. I mean, God knows what, everything else that monkeys do. They're just little dirty bastards. So anyway, the other thing to point out is North St. Louis, not a great part of town to be out roaming around, right? But I don't think nobody wants to mess with these monkeys. I mean, they first of all, they'll just climb a tree and you're never going to get them. But then they'll remember you. They're smart enough to remember you, remember who messed with them, go pick that lock, come into your house at night, trash the place, get their revenge on you.
No, thank you.
A woman in India has filed a police complaint against her husband and his family, claiming she was tricked into marriage.
Her husband, and his other family.
Yeah. Well, his parents maybe. She agreed to marry him a year ago. She was promised a man with thick, healthy hair. After the wedding, she learned he was actually bald and had been wearing a toque.
Yeah, that's clearly a tube. I mean, he's going for like a Freddie Prinz.
I don't know that this is actually him. I did Google search Indian guy in tube. And this is what I got. But
okay,
I mean,
this is like a Indian Donny Osmond.
Yeah, that's
Benson Boone.
That wig is like pretty much a helmet of hair. It's got ear
it is.
protection and everything.
And no scalp at all. Like there's no, you can't even see a fake scalp.
No, he takes that thing off. He may not have ears either. You don't know. That thing covers it all. Some other crazy reasons that people have filed for divorce, though, is that got me thinking. This is according to divorce attorneys on Reddit. One of them says, I had a client file for divorce because every morning his wife would ask him how he takes his coffee. She did that for 7 years. Finally, he had enough.
That's what broke him?
I think that maybe that's a window into a deeper-seated issue where she doesn't listen to him.
That could be. Because it can't just be that. If that's your biggest relationship problem that she's asking you.
Yeah, you're not doing well in that divorce. Right.
Yeah, good luck.
Another one says, my boss's wife filed for divorce because he used too much toilet paper. She was a super thrifty coupon lady and would even listen when he was in the bathroom to see if he was using too much.
Ooh, this could be a warning sign.
Again, I think there's more issues going on there. Probably
Clogged
should have seen that.
toilets could be one of them.
In the lead up to the proposal, you probably should have seen that. One of my clients filed for divorce because he owed his bookie $70,000, and he figured he would get half of the house in the divorce and pay off his debts.
Jeez, that is a degenerate gambler right there.
That is desperate, man. Jeez. I mean, the gambler, clearly the gambling had put some stress.
Yes.
On their marriage.
No stress like financial stress.
No, there's not. And then finally, my neighbor filed for divorce because her husband smacked his lips when he ate and slurped his coffee and soup. She thought if she didn't divorce him, she'd end up going to jail for battery.
Ooh. And isn't slurping soup a custom of good manners in some countries? I mean, just a...
So's belching at the table. I think, is that in Greece? You
also
means you're satisfied with the meal.
RVTV, yeah. Greece and RVTV.
Yeah, that means
by that I mean you.
It's like saying thank you or that's good.
That was
yeah,
good.
they want you to belch. You're enjoying the meal. Belch at the table. That didn't catch on, it seems like, here in the United States. But
Not here. Not with everybody. Excited for ThrowDowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Heartland Tire, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires, treating you like family. Murph, every day it seems like Iowa and Iowa State are pulling players out of the transfer portal. What's more valuable in a transfer? A player who can make an immediate impact or a player with more than 1 year of eligibility?
You would like to have both, of course, but in this era, this current era, it's someone who can make an immediate impact. I mean, look at Fernando Mendoza. If you look at the Hawkeyes, look at Mark Gronowski. I know he had a slow start, but after those first couple of games, he was maybe the MVP of the team. So with these rosters being built year to year, if you have somebody that can come in and make an immediate impact, especially at the quarterback position, that's the most valuable.
I agree with Murph there, but Andrew, I know where you're going with this. I mean, if you can get a guy that you don't have to re-recruit, right? I mean, just at one position that you've got locked down for multiple years, I think that's really helpful to the whole program. But I don't know that those players exist anymore.
Andy, the Packers haven't won the NFC North since 2021. They haven't hosted a playoff game since 2022. That was a loss. They are 1-5 in the last 6 playoff games after blowing that big lead Saturday night to the Bears. Should Matt LaFleur be on the hot seat?
Yeah, I mean he should be. They should be looking around a little bit. They've got a great quarterback. I think they've got injuries and all of that. Also, lots of excuses. But this is not a fan base that accepts this kind of stuff for a long time, and particularly when your conference rivals, the Bears and the Lions, have done so much better than you have. Recently, that's harder to take. So I mean they should be looking. I don't think they should just go out and fire him and then look, but they should have an idea of what else might be out there, because I don't think that he's proven he's absolutely the man for the job.
Wasn't he the offensive coordinator for the Falcons in the 28-3 meltdown?
He was. Yeah.
This guy needs to learn how to hold a lead, for one thing. I mean,
I'm good. I'm good with it.
To have a strategy to hold a lead. I think you file this under, do you have a better option? Like if the Packers thought for sure they could get John Harbaugh, or a clear better option, a more proven option, or somebody that they have so much belief in that is going to be a great head coach, I think you have to think about doing that. But absent that, he's done enough to keep his job, but the seat should be warm for sure, if not hot.
All right, Murph, it's January 12th. Is this week still within the Happy New Year zone, or are we too far into 2026?
I think we're out of it at this point. I don't have a day like Larry David famously does that this is the cutoff. I think it was the 4th maybe.
Yeah.
But and there is a little bit of nuance to this. You haven't seen anybody since it turned to 2026. But I think I'd throw out hey, have a great year, something like that. But a Happy New Year, I think I'm done.
No, I've transitioned into the how is your new year going so far?
Oh.
That type of...
That's a pro move.
Empty chatter, senseless chatter. Yeah, I mean, usually you're just using it as something to say, right? That sounds a little bit different than, how was your weekend?
Yeah. All right, that's Throwdowns.
Thank you, AD. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy is where you can leave a voicemail, rant, day or night. It's easy. Just go to that address and tell us what's bugging you. It can be about anything. For example, if Andy were to do one right now, it almost certainly would be about the legislators being back in town. All powered by the Cellular Advantage, now able to help you with any and all of your T-Mobile and U.S. cellular needs. And running this whole Cellular Advantage is the grand poobah of Cellular Advantage, Doug Eklund, who, if I'm not mistaken, AD, made his first appearance on Week in Iowa Unnecessary Censorship Friday.
Well, technically, he wasn't there. It was you talking about him showing everybody a picture of his dog.
Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD Squared.
It's powered by Game Day Men's Health. We are into the new year. Are you into the new you? You can be with Game Day Men's Health, Ankeny, West Des Moines, North Liberty. Give them a shout. Find out what they can do for you. The Eagles had a tough loss to the 49ers yesterday. Fans not happy about it. In particular, this young fan, Sam Salvo, who talked with ABC 6 in Philadelphia.
Yes, this was a huge letdown. This was my Christmas present, and I got a loss.
Oh, no. You probably would have rather had Cole, huh?
Yeah, probably. I'm feeling two of two things. A, I want A.J. Brown packing his bags, and I want him somewhere else that is not here. I love you, A.J., but, you can't make those drops in that game. And I also want Kevin Patullo flipping burgers at, the local McDonald's or something. I don't care.
Why do you say that?
Whenever he's an offensive coordinator, it's like he's flipping burgers. One side, he's cooking. One half, he's cooking. And the other half is completely raw.
Dang, they start early in Philly.
Yeah, that reporter's smart to just keep this kid
talking.
going. Yep.
Keep him talking. Well, thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on a Monday. We appreciate you being with us. We have some new people watching on the WHO 13 Plus app. Welcome to all of you. We're glad to be with you on Iowa Everywhere. If you want to make it easy to get the show, please like and subscribe. We're back Wednesday live, and we hope you are too.